Good morning, gang. Happy Tuesday. It's about 6:30 or something like that here Tuesday morning. So let's see if today's a little slower day for craziness than yesterday was. That was nonstop reading news yesterday and trying to keep up with what was going on. I want to throw something out there today that I was thinking about this morning. You know, as preppers, we all look at the big picture, all right? I've got to have this, I've got to have this, I've got to do this, what if that, and that's all good. No big deal. But let's break it off into little pieces, all right? And I want you to think about this because this is going to be different for everybody. Now, none of us know what event is coming that we're prepping for, but we all know there is going to be an event, okay? Whether it is complete economic collapse, whether it's conventional warfare, whether it's an EMP, and then of course there's some people who are preparing for the zombie apocalypse or getting crushed by a meteor. Something's going to happen. We all know it, okay? And I'm talking on big scale. The small scale stuff, our own personal SHTF, sure, that. But I'm talking about the bigger event where there's actually a threat to you. A personal SHTF, a job loss, which a lot of people are facing at this point. Okay, that's a little different. You're not worried about somebody coming and trying to steal all your stuff from you. So let's think about it, and I'll give you some ideas. What are you going to do in the first 24 hours? Okay, and hypothetical here. An EMP goes off, and all of a sudden we're all in the dark. Okay, no lights, no heat, no communication. There's different conversations on whether or not cars would run. Okay, some people have said, yeah, the cars are shielded well enough. Other people say no, so we'll see. Okay, but let's say cars run. All right. What are you going to do? What's the first thing you need to take care of? Because at this point, you can't say, gee, I need to go buy more food. There are no stores, okay? There's no power, okay? And anything that's refrigerated is going to be rotting pretty quick. So what is your first thing you're going to do? And I mean, everybody, it's going to be different, okay? Depending on the scenario. You live in the city. You live in an apartment. Are you getting out and going to your bug out location? That may be the very first thing you do. My suggestion is make a plan for this with your family so everybody knows, so you're not A, flying off the seat of your pants trying to figure out what to do, and B, you don't have the arguments over what to do. No, we need to do this. No, we need to do that. Personal opinion, and again, this is my opinion. Personal opinion is personnel. You've got to centralize your personnel. Okay, if you've got brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, kids, parents, aunts, uncles, whatever it is that are going to be in your group, your mag, whatever you want to call them, in any sort of crisis situation, the very first thing you have to do is make sure that all those people are together. Nothing else can really go on until you've managed to get all your people together. Okay. If it's, in my case, my daughter being in Indiana, and whether she goes and bugs out to mom's or bugs out here, that's up to her. But hopefully she's smart enough to come here. That's the first thing I've got to do. I need to know where she is going. If she's going to mom's, if she's coming here. If she's coming here, I need to have somewhat of an ETA, because otherwise your mind is going to start messing with you big time. Okay? Personnel is the very first thing you got to do. You've got to get everybody centralized. If you're bugging out, everybody, you've got to know everybody's going to the bug out situation. Because think of this scenario. Let's say you're a family of 8 and you're all coming to a centralized bug out location. How productive are you going to be knowing that 2 people are missing. Where are they? What's going on? Oh my God, I can't think straight. Where are Bobby and Susie? I don't know. Okay. That's something that you got to think about. The very first thing that you got to do is getting your personnel together. After you've done that, what's the second thing that needs to be done? And hopefully this is done already. Everybody has to know their responsibility. Everybody's going to have one, okay? Or everybody's going to have multiple. It's one person's responsibility, or a few, to pull security detail. It's another person, a couple of people's responsibility to provide the food, to do the cooking, however that would be. This is stuff that has to happen very quickly, because you can't, in a SHTF situation, fly by the seat of your pants. You need to know exactly what's going on. You have to have your leadership already predetermined. Okay, it's not going to be in a SHTF situation. Okay, everybody's here. Let's all figure out now, okay, who's going to be the one that's going to make the decisions? How are we going to make the decision? That needs to be determined, okay? Because, you need to be actively implementing everything that is in your plan immediately. Because, again, if it's a EMP, chances are that means there's troops coming, okay? If you also have the issue of marauders, you also have the issue of OPSEC, okay? All those things have to be determined very quickly. If it's the dead of winter, you got to figure out your heat real quick. You've got to figure out sleeping arrangements. And I'm not saying who's sleeping with who. I'm saying who's sleeping when. Because somebody, it's not like, oh, guys, it's 10 o'clock. Everybody go to bed now. We'll all get up at 6 in the morning. No, it doesn't work that way. All right. You have to have a rotating sleeping schedule, because people have to pull guard duty to make sure that in the middle of the night, which is when everything happens anyway, nefarious at least, you need somebody to be protective, at least observing what's going on to keep everybody safe. Look at any of these situations that we have, I'll use that term, last year. And the news would go out, oh, it's pretty peaceful, it's 6 o'clock, but, once darkness hits, that's when we expect everything. Okay, same thing's going to happen in SHTF, guys, all right? Move by the cover of darkness. That's what's going to happen. So you're going to need to do this. But I want you guys to think about that, is what are you going to do in the first 24 hours? You're going to freak out, okay? And most people, you're going to freak out as a prepper going, holy crap, this actually happened. Now imagine all the people who have their head in the sand and how they're going to freak out, and what they're going to be capable of in those first 24 hours. Holy crap, what happened? People aren't going to know, okay, gee, it was an EMP, gee, the power went out. But eventually it's going to start figuring out real quick, because word will travel quickly, especially if you're in a population center, okay, as to what happened. People will freak. So think, like I said, we all have a tendency to think on a large scale. Start breaking that down into small pieces. Again, the old story, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Figure out that first bite, because that may give you a whole different perspective on what you need to do. Just some thoughts for this morning. But if we get a Rittenhouse verdict, I'll be back sometime today. If there's anything other crazy, I'll be back sometime today. If not, we'll see you all on the live stream tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here. Have a good Tuesday. Pinball out.